Good morning, everyone. It's 8:16 a.m. Chicago time, 9:16 Eastern U.S. time on Tuesday, the 15th of August, 2017. We're delayed this morning. The commute was absolutely horrible. Unfortunately, someone had passed away on the train tracks and had to shut down all train services to take care of that incident. So here we are. So, derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. We're going to make this real quick. The current market stance is bullish on equities, and markets are moving to risk and away from safe assets. Gold again taking another hit, $16.70. Gold's trading at $1,273, slowly approaching the pre-North Korean nuclear crisis prices. Gold is down 1.31%, followed by the Japanese yen, which is down 1%, and then we get the U.S. Treasury bond, the Euro, FX, and so on. Crude oil this morning is trading at 47 and a quarter. Crude oil trended down yesterday afternoon and is continuing its continuation leg this morning. It opened about 17 minutes ago in the pit, but throughout the night session, it's the overnight session, it's been trading sideways until about 6 a.m. this morning, where it's starting to explore lower prices. Key area in crude down at 46.80. We're approaching it now with the low that we've put in so far at 47.09, something like that. Overall, yesterday, the overnight news, again, North Korea came out at 5:15 p.m. yesterday afternoon, 6:15 Eastern, with Kim Jong-un saying that they will not attack Guam yet. They could change their mind based on U.S. actions. So this is becoming a much more of a verbal conflict at the moment, which we all like because we don't want nukes flying everywhere if they even have them. South Korea is working towards resolving the issue without war. And of course, as I talked about following the trade on Friday, it came out that actually the Trump administration has been in talks with North Korea for quite some time. So there's a diplomatic conversation going on for some time. So that issue's been relieved. As a result, we see the markets popping back up with buy the dip traders stepping in. Overnight, Germany announced its fastest growth rate in 3 years. Preliminary data shows Germany's economic growth at 2.1% annualized in the second quarter. And Bitcoin gets to $4,449. Just amazing over there. And then there's a bunch of other stuff. You can look it up yourself as far as news. I don't think it's driving us this morning. We got the U.S. July advanced retail sales 0.6%, doubling the 0.3% expected. Retail sales ex auto at 0.5% versus 0.3%. Starting to sound like a pit squad guy. And then we also got import price index 0.1 in line. U.S. Empire Manufacturing also at 7:30 Central, 25.2 versus 10 Eastern. This is the highest reading since September 2014. That's the August Empire Manufacturing number. As far as what's coming up today, we're looking at today. Here we go. Today, we're looking at business inventories at 10, expecting 0.4 for June. NAHB Housing Market Index also at 10 for August, expecting 65.0. And that's about it. That's all she wrote for today's releases. As far as what we looked at yesterday, in either case, yesterday we were looking for a gap and go. So the gap zone was expected to continue to stay open. We were opening at the time of the trader bite. We're opening at 24.53, and the expectation for Hypo 1 is for it to go sideways, to be stuck in this range here, to open, to attempt lower, and then to continue sideways. That did not happen yesterday. Instead, we got Hypo 2, which is an open, an immediate impulse, a trend up, and then the market going sideways later. The market went sideways higher. It ended up pushing higher into the 24.65 and holding. Hypo 2 was the plan, except I didn't project that it would go as high as it did. Here's what actually happened. Check this out. I mean, it immediately opens up. We get a little bit of a rest, so I set that as the opening swing high, but really the open is a soft open drive. The market retests that zipper, the early zipper, and then continues on and then just goes completely dead and sideways in the afternoon. A P-shaped profile, so this profile here is P-shaped. This is short covering. This is indicating a strong potential for short covering. We got a strong move up, and then the market accepts the range. Where does it accept the range? It accepts the range right where the prior naked point of control was. So you could see the auction in progress. Here's the template day. This is we call that the template day, or I call it the template day. Because it is the last day where the auction has occurred. So we use that as a template for what we're likely to see. So on this day, we see that there is even distribution. So we pay attention to the value area and to the point of control. The market pushes up into the point of control and goes sideways. Note yesterday's point of control is right in line with that day's point of control, this pink line extended forward, and we are just completely sideways for the rest of this session. We left our gap zone behind. Nice big gap zone. This gap zone here is exactly the same size as this gap zone that we left behind a month ago. So look, on the 12th of last month, we had a gap of 30 ticks after selling off, and here we are on the 14th of this month. We had a gap of 30 ticks, and the market continued to rally. Same thing over and over. If you look at June and so this is July. If you look at June, we had a similar gap, smaller, and May also a similar gap, smaller. We ended up filling the May, July, June gaps, but not the July gap yet. This was expected to happen on this week low. So buy the dip, traders stepped in, participants stepped in, are taking it all the way back up, and we're pushing through this morning. The overnight high is right at the close from last Wednesday, and so we are in this part of the profile right here. This is where we're trading. We're up against the low of the prior balance, so the market's is auctioning pretty well, although it was dead yesterday. But if you look at where we are now, we had that sell-off and then this trend up here, this channel up, and we are up against it now. We're pushing up against this channel low. So that's where we stand right now. As far as what we're accomplishing so far, if we take a quick look at the weekly, there's the extended range we had last week, just a beauty, right? We still have that week low down here, and what we did is we opened. There's that black dot that right there. Gold is Monday. We opened and then we held steady. Held steady at the higher end of price. So the expectation is for the market to continue higher to seek to seek balance up top. We're looking for 2470 to 2469, 2470 area. Actually, it's higher. It's the 2473 right here. This high volume node. If you combine these weeks together, you'll find that there's a big bulge right here, and that's where we're going. Apparently. So this is what's expected for today, that we continue higher and then we balance out in the 2473 high volume node. This is the black line right here, 2470, 73. So right here there's a large amount of volume and the market's likely to get stuck here today. Okay? As far as what we did overnight, here's what the overnight session brought us. Just immediately moving up in the Asian session, receding a little bit before the European Open. The European Open didn't accomplish much at all, so the action was in the Asian session, which is not something we see all the time. Coming into today, we're above the point of control. Pretty decent volume overnight, 218,000 versus 135 to 150,000. So we're holding in balance in the overnight session. Inventory is bought in price and in volume this morning. So we're looking for a small retraction, a small response. So I'm looking for an open, a response. I'm looking for the 64, 65 area to be tested. This is an important area from way back. I'm expecting it to be tested. I'm expecting the market to just balance, and then I'm expecting it to look to the high side later in the session. That's hypo 1. Okay, so this is very important that we get back in here and test this base before we start to move up. It gives us a better move into the 73 quarter and the 75 beyond that. Other than that, if we open and we immediately take a quick turn higher, I expect us to get attracted back to the MC point of control, so I expect that to be a magnet. So I'm looking for a lower high, responsive selling, and I'm looking for this to come all the way back to the top of the range and potentially test the point of control and be stuck here. So expecting okay range, expecting outside in type of trade. That's where I'm looking for today. I want to remind you again, starting tomorrow until I get back on Monday the 28th, there will not be a trader bite every morning. This is the last one until I take a break, and so just look for tweets for old videos that you might consider watching. And that's all I have for you. Good luck going forward for the next couple weeks and today, and I'll catch you soon. Take care.